Welcome back. It's time for business news now, and I'm joined by Owen Fairclough. Hello,
Claire.
Owen. We're going to start now with Spain. Are we looking at another big sell-off in Spain?
Well, we're certainly looking at another big sell-off for Bankia, Claire, the bank that's just been nationalised by the Spanish government, around 5% down this morning. Yesterday, it finished 14% down, just compounding those losses. But so far on the European markets, we're seeing a minor rally. We'll see what that looks like at the end of the trading day, though. For now, though, all of the European markets, you can see they're all around 0.5%, a little bit more up. Don't get carried away with that, though. I was just doing looking a little earlier into the year-to-date figures. If we take the IBEX, for example, that market has lost a quarter of its value on the year-to-date, and we're approaching pretty much the halfway mark in the year now. In fact, only the DAX, out of those markets on that board there, is showing any kind of gains and holding on to any kind of gains for the year today. A slightly improved picture on the Asian markets this Tuesday, with the Nikkei finishing just shy of 1% in the green. We had some unemployment data out there that showed that unemployment rose just slightly, around 4.5%, just over now, which is better than many people were expecting. And just while we're talking Japan, worth mentioning that Panasonic is denying reports that it's to halve its workforce, even at its Japanese headquarters. According to the Nikkei newspaper, up to 4,000 jobs out of 7,000 staff based in the capital, Tokyo, will go, but a company spokeswoman has said those redundancies have not yet been decided.
All right, now that shattering of confidence in Spain has escalated since the nationalisation of Bankia. It's more exposed to the country's burst housing bubble than any other bank. The bill for rescuing it will top nearly $24 billion, and with borrowing costs in Spain dangerously high, questions are being asked about where the government can find the money necessary. Here's Oliver Farry.
Spain's troubled lender Bankia is in desperate need of a bailout, and the Spanish government is suggesting a novel way of financing it. Madrid is considering recapitalising the company with 19 billion euros of government debt in return for equity in the bank. This in turn would then be financed by cash from the European Central Bank. It's an unprecedented move, viewed with scepticism by many analysts. Others, however, say it might just work.
It is true that if we consider all the help Bankia has had so far, and the potential help that other banks might need, then the deficit would increase, and all this would have consequences on the sovereign debt rate. Maybe some help could be given, not affecting the whole country, but maybe only the financial sector.
Bankia was formed last year from a fusion of 7 savings banks and nationalised at a cost of 23.5 billion euros. It was among 16 of the country's banks downgraded by Moody's earlier this month for non-performing loans. Its share price tumbled 28 cents on Monday as markets got jittery on news of the impending bailout. But the Spanish government indicated it had not yet approached the ECB about the move. Prime Minister Mariano Rajoy continues to insist there'll be no bailout.
There will be no external bailout of Spain's banking sector.
But that may simply be a semantic nicety if the government is reliant on the ECB to greenlight the move.
Okay, let's pick up on a little bit more company news for you now, starting in China, where the car maker BYD says its electric E6 model has passed all safety tests following a fatal collision. The firm said batteries used in the cars didn't ignite during testing. The company responded after a collision in the city of Shenzhen, in which 3 people died when the BYD taxi they were travelling in exploded.
BP's Russian venture has been shaken by a new high-profile resignation. Billionaire Mikhail Friedman has quit as chairman of TNK BP. It's understood the AAR consortium that owns half the firm were unhappy with Friedman's leadership. In 2008, former CEO Bob Dudley, who now runs BP, was forced out after clashes with Russian shareholders.
And China is to allow direct trading of its yuan currency with Japan's yen. From this Friday, foreign exchange traders will be able to swap the two currencies without any longer using the dollar as an intermediary benchmark. It's the latest sign of the liberalising of China's money markets, and they're opening up to more foreign investors. Now, Latin American countries like Chile and Peru have boomed in recent years off the strength of their copper industries, but copper is down 17% over the past 12 months or so. And foreign investors such as the Swiss commodities giant Xstrata are finding the climate increasingly difficult to trade in. Here's Oliver Farry.
Paramedics carry off one of dozens of wounded during bloody clashes over a mine expansion in Peru. 2 people were left dead after protesters and police faced off at the Tintaya copper mine in the Cusco region. The protesters say the owner of the mine, the Swiss company Xstrata, is polluting rivers and not making sufficient financial donations to the local exchequer. The local mayor accuses the central government of being deaf to their concerns.
We've sent a document signed by me and by the district mayors, to ask for a high-level commission visit. As of now, we've had no response.
But the government has defended its reaction and lays the blame for the violence on the protesters.
The police have acted in accordance with the law and with diligence and respect for human rights in trying to prevent casualties among the population. However, force was used against state authorities by protesters burning fields, using slingshots and throwing rocks.
The protesters have blocked transport links, but the mine continues to operate as normal, and Xstrata has sufficient stocks at its Pacific port for the time being. Xstrata says its $1.5 billion expansion to the mine will open in late August. Mining accounts for 60% of the South American country's exports.
There you go, that's the situation in Peru. If you're just joining us, just a reminder that Bankia shares have opened down again this Tuesday, around 5%. That's despite the European markets opening up, and of course in the wake of that nationalisation by the Spanish government.
All right, thank you very much, Owen, for that look at the day's business news. Thank you for watching. Stuart Norval will have the latest headlines coming up in just a few minutes' time. In the meantime, though, you can go to our website, france24.com. Thanks for watching. Do stay tuned.